So we are recording.
Oh, sure.
Well, welcome to the January meeting. A lot of people are going to be talking today while I twirl in this seat. So the theme is tips for success, and we have tips for everybody. So first, we have some housekeeping stuff to talk about. Oh, maybe. Oh. And Eva will be up first. Okay, remind me throughout this whole entire thing, if you guys talk, you guys have to talk loudly so it can be recorded on my computer, because we had some people say that it's hard to hear, or you can come up to my computer so it records properly. Please and thank you.
Just come up here. Okay, so we have some exciting volunteer opportunities. The first one is A Night to Shine, and that's with Change Point Church. It's a really fun event. One of my coworkers shared this opportunity. So it's a prom night in a sense centered around people with intellectual disabilities. And the organization would like volunteers to register by Monday, February 5th online, and they do background checks, which is why they want registration prior to day of. The second volunteer opportunity is on Saturday, February 17th or Sunday, February 18th through the Food Bank of Alaska, and it's compiling boxes to put food in to deliver to different senior centers. So that's more of like a warehouse type setting, but they have different time slots that you can sign up for. And then Special Olympics Alaska has Winter Games coming up in March. I do realize it's right around the time of spring break, so just note that if you have plans for spring break. So a couple volunteer opportunities coming up. Really quickly, we wanted to do an OT student spotlight and recognize the amazing OT1s that put together a polar plunge team and raised just under $1,000 for a great organization and really just getting our name out in the community. Brianna, I don't know if you've seen these pictures, but
I'm not friends with her, so you play on my Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, Jackie, I went to your Facebook to look at the video, but I don't know, it's not embedded, so it may not play, but you could probably talk about how cold it was.
Your body goes into shock.
It burned a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it worth it for a good cause?
Yes.
The experience was worth it, and the towel was kind of cool.
Yeah.
As soon as you get out, you're like, okay, it wasn't bad, but I definitely reached for that firefighter. Like, pull me out. Oh, you can see it. Yeah. I'm like reaching for him.
So we just really appreciate you guys putting a team together and getting our name out in the community for Creighton OT, and I think continuing to be out in the community and, doing good acts of fundraising or, being in a realm where we're supporting and helping others will just, spread the word about the program even more. So thank you guys for doing that.
We also took our photos under my housekeep and told her about our profession.
Oh, that's exciting.
And we randomly stood in line next to an occupational therapist. Where did he work?
Usually at a hand clinic, I think.
He just moved up here.
Oh, cool.
He's like, oh, Creighton, are you guys OT students? He's like, I'm an OT.
In the College of Health newsletter.
Oh, okay. We sent the pictures to Sean, and she said he sent them out to somebody. I don't know who he sent them to.
Somebody has it.
Maybe eventually you guys will make it onto our Facebook page. Or
You
Creighton.
just go on there and post it.
I mean, I don't know.
On Creighton's Facebook page.
Yeah.
I think we just get on there. We weren't
Our
sure.
Christmas photo made it on the Creighton
Mhm.
Facebook page.
The Christmas one did. I didn't see this one.
I think the Polar Plunge one. Yeah.
Mm.
I'll have to check.
Exciting. So some housekeeping. So our vests, we have designs, thanks to Brianna. And right now I'm going to show you them first, and we'll look at them, and then we're going to take a vote. And Brianna's feelings will not be hurt because they're all fantastic. It's going to be really hard to choose. Okay. So I don't want to start with my personal favorite. So we'll start with this one. Okay, so this is the Alaska with the stars. Very beautiful. Then we have this one, maybe, which I call like the patch design. Also very beautiful. This one, which is nice as well. Very cute. And then, not to sway your guys' votes or anything, my personal favorite. This one. It's different.
Tough choices.
I know.
What kind of vest is this gonna be? Like a down vest?
Fleece.
A fleece vest? Okay.
Fleece, and we're considering doing like a t-shirt option as well.
Okay.
I just need to know from you guys what you want, so I could do research on my end to figure out like the cost, because I want to try to keep it like lower cost and more affordable. That way we could like tack on $3 to $5 on top of that, so we could fundraise for like the spring banquet or like the people who are going to conference, because we have some students from
Going this year.
going this year
Doing a
presenting.
presentation.
Yeah, so it'd be nice if
Exciting at the
Yeah.
same time.
So, I'll start from the bottom. What? Oh, no.
I know, I'm stuck. We need to get it.
Okay, process. Here, I'll just go through them all again. So here's this one. Everybody good at looking at this one?
Yeah.
Next one. I feel like this would look really cool on like a water bottle.
Like a sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the clear ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's this one. And then my favorite again.
Oh my gosh. Way to keep neutral.
So, Eva, you should have done this part. You're better at it. And then this one. You guys can vote for two. So we'll do the top two designs, and we'll figure it out from there. Okay, so we'll start from the bottom. Raise your hand if this one is your favorite. Okay. This one, as like a sticker. We like this one as a sticker.
Sticker.
Okay. Okay. This one. Okay, 1, 2. Would this be like a vest or maybe like a t-shirt?
Oh, I was like in the corner or like a big thing?
Like on the side.
Okay.
And we might be able to do options, I don't know. So, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, it's pretty cool.
Okay, a lot. So this is definitely number 1. Okay,
Wonder why.
so so we definitely have our top 2. The people who are going to watch this also get a vote via the survey. So look for that in the survey that I post later. Okay, back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so like I said, the proceeds, that after the markup, will go towards the spring banquet if we need it. And then definitely for sure it'll go towards people going to conference. Okay, and then if you're here and you're not a member, you could still join. There'll be $5 because you're only going to be here for 1 semester. And then in the fall, you guys get to take over this because I won't be here. So towards the end of the semester, you guys are going to vote or nominate people, and then you'll vote. But if it's something you really want to consider doing and you kind of want to like get your feet wet to see if it's something you really want to do, you guys can totally run a meeting. I will give you what I do. I'll tell you what I do. So basically what I do as president is I come up with like the topics, make a PowerPoint. I have to keep track of everybody who comes, everybody who watches the lecture recording. So I post it to YouTube. And then I have to make a survey and make sure the people that don't show up do the survey if they're going to go to conference so they get dean's reimbursement and everything. So it's a lot, but you also have a vice president to support you. I'm really horrible at delegating things, so I'm trying to work on that with Eva. So this semester will hopefully go better with that. So if you guys want to run a meeting because you want to be the El Presidente or vice president or just support, you can let me know. Anybody thinking about they want to run QSOTA next semester? Ooh, wow. Brooke? I know Hillary may want to, so you guys have hope. Because if you don't have like an Alaska like QSOTA president, vice president, then you'll have to watch the campuses. And it's more fun to do like Alaska specific, that way you could get out and be like in the community and whatnot. So that's an option. And you guys can nominate each other. If you like feel like, let's say Jared thinks Brianna should be vice president, she can nominate him, and she can either decline or accept the nomination. But yeah.
Senior vice president and raise your president nomination for you.
Yeah, you could do that too. Because, like, initially, it's so funny, last semester, I was like, I don't know if I want to be the president. And so I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to do it. But then somebody nominated me, and I was like, well, I guess it's just going to push me out of my bubble. So it's really great learning opportunity and leadership opportunity. And it looks, like, really good on your resume as, like, a leadership opportunity and stuff, yes.
Generally, how much time do you think it takes up? I mean, they're only once a month.
Yeah, once a month. So you have to watch campuses QSOTA meetings, so that can be anywhere for like an hour. And then preparing all this stuff, like 2 hours. But I mean, if you work really like fast, it really doesn't take that long. So plus if you find like guest speakers and stuff, that's extra time, but it's fun. Carrie's also a great resource for speakers too. So she has some people she wants to come talk to us. So, any other questions about it? Moving on. Okay, now Carrie's going to talk.
Okay, fabulous opportunity. Some of you I've already talked to about it. So for the Akota Spring Conference, they are bringing up a feeding specialist. So it's going to be primarily targeted to pediatric occupational therapists. However, we are having the first ever student research symposium. So whereas there are, by and large, state conferences, student research symposiums are a pretty standard part of any state conference. For a number of reasons, our state conference has never held one. So this is the first one, which I'm super hopeful that you guys can present a poster individually. You can present a poster as a group. Lots of benefits for you. And I will say that a poster presentation, you can kind of look around the room for samples, but you are essentially just standing beside a topic that you know really well and interacting with people and just talking about it. It is a really easy, low pressure kind of way to present research. We'll get there in just a minute. I have the template for you. It's really just a matter of creating a PowerPoint slide, and I'll be working with you guys to get information on where we can have them printed and if there's a way that we can get some funds towards that, et cetera, et cetera. All those kind of details will need to be worked out. Dr. Greiner is offering extra credit in PEDS for the OT2s if you present on a pediatric topic. Again, it's great practice for your capstone. This is essentially what you're going to do graduation weekend of your graduation date. And I just think it's a really, anytime, I've done poster presentations at different venues, and it can be like you were saying, Jacqueline, like a little anxiety producing. You're talking about research. I just found it's always been a really, really positive experience. People always have really encouraging things to say, and I think for you guys to be a part of this one, where we're really building that bridge between our practicing, therapists, our community here. So I think it would just be a really, really fabulous opportunity, and I'm certainly here to support you. So please consider either with your research group or individually from a course that you guys have done. Just probably, if you are interested, send me an email, and then we can kind of go from there. So, questions? Yeah, Brianna.
Excuse me, did that include OT ones, even though we haven't had our research?
Absolutely. Great question. Great question. So I've kind of talked with the groups that I'm in touch with. Yes, even though you are, still kind of in the infancy part of research, to just get your research question up there. Put some literature sources on there, particularly y'all's topic. I think might really, really be of interest to people, and you might actually get good feedback from practitioners on maybe a direction you hadn't considered or something like that. I mean, to actually have a research topic and then get information from the people that would use that research is a really, really unique opportunity. So, any other questions? Here is the template. So it's really pretty. You're literally just typing things in. It's pretty. It's a little blurry, but pretty self-explanatory. But maybe we could put our cool new logo somehow on that too. That'd be pretty fun. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to touch base with you guys about. So there is an opportunity within the College of Health for an interprofessional experience. So I've been in touch with a couple different Creighton faculty, and unfortunately we can't, for this semester, it's not a part of any, we can't directly relate it to any courses. But I wanted to tell you guys about the opportunity. It's a pretty, to me it sounds like a pretty interesting opportunity. But just know it would be outside the demands of your current coursework. So, the experience is basically these kind of 2 in-person meetings and then an interprofessional sim. So that's going to be over at the sim lab with another discipline. That would probably be determined. And kind of the intent of this experience is there is a big push, like Creighton has you guys do that IPE class the first semester. UAA has a similar emphasis in that people just really are kind of on board with the idea of interprofessional education, interprofessional collaboration, because realistically that's where you guys are going to be practicing, is with other disciplines. So this experience, the case study is an opioid use case study. So you have your case study, you go to kind of this launch event and talk more about it and interact with the other multidisciplinary teams. We do our sim lab, so our simulated, our standardized patient is going to be this kind of opioid case. And then this is kind of the wrap up. But in the meantime, I guess I say all that to say it's a pretty maybe low investment. You've got these 3 events that you would need to attend, and then maybe once or twice through the semester, under kind of my mentorship, we could participate in this electronic health record that they've designed in Blackboard that just people that are doing this experience have access to. So you would see the psychology note on our case study, and you would see the nursing note on our case study, and we could leave a note. So, and it's really just, it's just such a great learning opportunity. So I don't have a hard and fast, okay, this is going to take 6 hours of your time throughout the semester. If I had to guess, that would be my guess. 10-ish hours would be my guess throughout the semester.
Does it sound like they're going to try to create more opportunities like this in the future, just because those 2 dates were in lab from 6 to 8, OT1?
You guys are. I wonder if we could if Kevin could reschedule just on those 2. I'll see. I mean, it would need to. That might get tricky, because it's not a requirement, and yeah. But if you're interested, maybe again, shoot me an email, talk to me after the meeting, just because I need a sense of what our numbers would be to bring back to the team. So, any questions about that? Thank you.
Okay, so now to the tips. So I sent out a couple emails to some of the OT3s for us OT2s about some success tips for us when we go out on field work. So Justine, she said, depending on the site, she would touch up on the setting, reach out to your CI and ask about certain assessments you should become familiar with, because on level 2s, I guess we do a lot of assessments, a lot of SOAP notes, so get good at that this semester, OT1. And then she also said sometimes it's not realistic to be fully prepared because, you know, we have so much extra time this semester. So she said to take a little time for ourselves and with your loved ones before we go out and travel. And that will just help ease our jitters. And then also she says to always be sure to ask questions after treatment sessions and ask like what's helpful, if it's okay if you like to write notes, and all that fun stuff. Because I guess it's important that you have that info at the end of each field work, which that's nice to know because we have lots of stuff to do during that whole thing. And then the next one is from Shelly, and it kind of scared me a little. So, be upfront with your CI with your worries and areas that you want to work on in the beginning. They're there to help you and address it early. And if you address it early, it'll make the process more seamless. If you suck at documentation, they'll eventually going to find out. So, yep. That's a struggle for me. But it's okay, we'll get there. Have a meeting about expectations at the beginning. Some sites have their own site objectives, but if they don't, it may be a good idea to establish expectations for your time there. Some sites will have their own weekly assignments. Be prepared for extra work outside of the class. Be prepared for all different levels of mentorship from your CIs. Her level 2A didn't really provide her any mentorship, but her 2B micromanaged her, so you just have to be able to be flexible and just work with them because it's only 3 months and you can do anything for 3 months, right? And you have to know that your site may not be anything like you expected, but you may even be disappointed. But it's good to reflect, because we all love to, on what you're getting out of the experience. Any questions? No? Okay. Thank you to those two for sending us some tips. So, tips for OT1. So I wanted to start it off with, do you guys have any general questions about any of the classes that the OT2s that are here that could probably try to answer them for you? No? Okay, so we'll just dive in. So,
Too many questions to narrow it down.
are your two main classes you're worried about are Kinesiology and Anatomy?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Kinesiology, best class ever. You're going to use it so much out on your fieldwork, even your level 1s. So what I did for kinesiology is I created my own charts for like shoulder flexion and all that stuff. And I put like muscle. Did you bring your
Brought
charts?
an example.
Okay, because I didn't bring mine. I brought my anatomy one.
I can
Yeah.
get that.
And then like the different positioning and what a level 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 looks like, and like where you place your hands, what to say. That personally helped me so much more than having the book. I know Dr. B has one like that up on his website. I wouldn't trust it because when we were looking at it, some of the information was wrong because a student made it and he posted it. So, and I mean, you're going to learn more off of your own, like doing it yourself, and it's a great study tool because you're going to have to know the muscles when you go into your practicum. You're going to be like, okay, I'm doing shoulder flexion, and I remembered it's 3 muscles. I'm not going to tell you the ones because I don't want to be wrong. But you know, like it's helpful, and like practice outside of lab. I was talking to Bobby earlier, and I would love a refresher. So if you guys want to talk to us and like practice with us, like I know there's a couple of us who would love to like help you guys study for it because I mean I feel pretty confident in it, not the muscles, but I mean we need to know the muscles because our CIs are going to ask us when we go on our level 2s. So like I mean we'd be helping you, but you'd also be helping us, like, you know, giving us a refresher. So that's what I did with kinesiology. For his exams, I'm sure you guys have caught on to this, but if he says this sounds like a good test question, it's gonna be a test question. Anything like in colored, that's like red, I think he does red. Know that. I did a lot of flashcards for his class.
He gives us a lot of information in a short amount of time.
Yep. So what I did that helped me is I think I did it for the first exam, and it really helped me, is I created my own exam, and Bobby created her own exam. I don't know if you were a part of this one or not. And we swapped exams. And that's a really good way to, like, study.
Just make up questions.
Like, yeah, it helps a lot. We did that for anatomy too. That was fun. But yeah, know your muscles, like shoulder flexion. What 3 muscles does shoulder flexion? Know those. He's going to get into degrees, like functional degrees and stuff. So it's a lot, but with kinesiology and knowing the muscles, it's going to help you so much with anatomy and knowing the muscles and the actions. Because like Jamie will pin a muscle and it'll be like, name an action, and she has a pin in the deltoid. So shoulder flexion, shoulder abduction. So
If you can master like the muscles and their movement and function, it just makes you that much more confident when you're out on your field work. One of my field works, there was a patient who was carrying something, and my fieldwork educator was like, okay, what muscles are firing right now? You know, and just being able, and I froze. And I said, you know, I'm not sure. And she's like, okay, well, the most important thing is to be able to know where to refer to it, like where to find it. Okay, do you know where to find that information? Like, yes. And then minutes later, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
you know, I know what that is.
Mhm.
So if you can get the foundation of knowing the anatomy and knowing how your body is working and make it applicable to you, then that makes it that much easier when you're out on field work.
Yeah, and that's why I like those charts, because I would rather bring my charts with my own words that I wrote, that I understand, versus bringing a textbook that has all this extra information, and I'm like, I just need to know what the muscle is. I just need to know this and that. So I think that's the benefit of making those charts. Does it take extra time? Yes, lots of extra time. But if you do it when it's fresh in your mind, I know your guys' lab is late, so like if you do it the next morning, just do it real quick while it's still fresh, and then just get it out of the way. So that would be like my tip for kinesiology. Do you guys have any other questions about kines? Yes.
Did they really ever emphasize like specific bony landmarks and origin insertion and all that jazz, or
For kines,
for both kines?
anatomy, yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I guess we could just move on to anatomy. That sheet that she gave you guys, like the structure list, that is your Bible. Since you guys don't have like an electronic copy, make a photocopy of it, make 5 photocopies of it, laminate it, bring it with you whenever you go into the lab, because it is so helpful. So I was explaining it to my dad, aka Jared, the OT1, for those of you who don't know who's listening. I don't even think I have a copy anymore. But so like that first page, it tells you like muscles, you need to know action, origin, insertion, innervation, all that fun stuff. For the nerves, you need to know the origin, the course, the branches, distribution, and function. She doesn't really give you that information in the PowerPoints. You guys have to go into your textbook and look it up. Yes. Yes. It is definitely a self-guided anatomy course, which some people love and some people hate, and some people love to hate. So what I did, and I know Eva did the same thing and a couple other people did, is we made charts. I'm telling you, these charts are awesome. And you can get with somebody and be like, okay, I'll take all these muscles, you take all these muscles, I'll take these nerves, you take all these nerves, I'll take these arteries, because, you know, the arteries, you have to know origin, course, branches, and the area that it supplies. So, like, knowing all this stuff and having it like, okay, the facial artery, the origin is the external carotid artery. Where does it go? I won't stress you guys out yet. But, you know, all that stuff. So I'll pass this around for you guys to look at. This is my binder. I know Eva has some too. So just knowing that stuff. When you're in lab, a few of you could be dissecting while other people's like drawing pictures on the board. We would take pictures of the pictures and print the pictures out. Very helpful. When you're in the lab, you could make tables of the muscles and do the action, origin, insertion, innervation, and check with Jamie and make sure, is this everything you want to know? And she'd be like, yes, that's right. Or no, actually, I just want you to know this. You don't have to know this. So that's helpful too. And then I spent a lot of time in the anatomy lab because anatomy is hard for me. I think Eva, me, and Bobby lived in that anatomy lab like 3 days a week, additional to our lab. And I like going to it when we're not dissecting because it's easier to get in there and find the whatever structure you're looking for and asking Jamie for help in a much quieter environment. Because she also does like open labs before you have pin quizzes. Open labs are for you guys and they're for undergrad students. So it gets really loud, a lot of people surrounding 2 bodies. So it gets overwhelming. So I found it helpful, like I go like for 2 or 3 hours during the week versus going in on the weekends and having to fight over a body, which sounds bad, but that's basically what you're doing. So if you go in the, like we went bright and early at 8 o'clock, and Jamie would be there in her office working, and we would just go through. So we would start like at this muscle, be like, this is blah, blah, blah muscle. It does this, this, and this. All right, next muscle. This is this muscle. It does this, this, and this. All right, let's start back from the top. It's this muscle, it does this, this, and this. Like just repetition. Make flashcards. If you're a diagram maker, make diagrams. If you're just one of those people who can read and know it, do that. You have to find like what works best for you with anatomy, but it's a really great course. Don't be scared of it. If you need help, that's what our tutors are for. Brooke is here today, and she is going to come up here and tell you her learning style in case you want to seek her services for tutoring. She specifically would like to tutor anatomy.
Or knees.
Love
extra practice. So I feel like a lot of my classmates do not have the same learning style as me, especially for anatomy and stuff. I'm not a chart person. They're helpful for reviewing and kind of last minute studying for me, but I love to, I'm an auditory learner very much, or a kinesthetic learner, so having my hands on it or watching somebody
Explain it.
have their hands on whatever. So I spent my time in there just, if I had my own notes, it was just a tiny little, one of those composition notebooks, and I would just scribble, very unorganized, but organized to me. I drew a lot of pictures myself in there, as opposed to looking at other pictures, or I'd use them for references, but I felt that was really helpful to draw things out myself, even if it looked terrible, to actually just draw it out, like the myotomes, the dermatomes, and all that stuff. Drawing out, the muscles of the forearm. And another big thing I used for anatomy was this app called the Essential Anatomy app or something. I got it for $1 a long time ago, but I think it's about $20. But I would recommend it if you guys like to look at things and just have a quick reference. It's like that table that is in the lab where you can touch it and slice it and all that. This app, you can search for a specific muscle or nerve, and it will tell you all the basic information. So the action, insertion, origin, innervation, all that stuff. So that was really helpful if you're, a kinesthetic learner, to be able to play with it and do that stuff. I loved going to the open labs too. I usually did it on the weekends. And I found it kind of helpful sometimes. Some of the pre-med students were in there, or the
Med students.
CA students,
Yeah.
whatever they were, med students of some kind, because they were also studying similar stuff, but they had a more in-depth knowledge of it. So it was helpful to have just a totally different person, just kind of bounce stuff off of. I didn't use textbooks a lot because there was a lot of just extra information and reading, which I didn't find very helpful. So yeah, I just like to go in there and look at things, and I would visualize stuff on myself all the time. If I was putting something away in the kitchen, I would always be consciously, okay, what muscles is that? What movement is that? So that would kind of tie into how I studied for Kines, which was I would do a lot of the stuff on myself and visualize that. And I use Quizlet a lot, so you might be able to find some of my old stuff up there if you search. But especially for the range of motion and manual muscle testing, all the different positions and different grades, I just made quick little flashcards on Quizlet for those, and added the images of the positions, which you can do really easily. You just search for shoulder abduction, and it will be an image, so it helps you remember that. But yeah, I'm a very simple bullet list learner, and for Kines, I practiced a lot on people too.
Yeah.
Whenever we picked our practicum partners, how many practicums did we have?
I don't
2 or
know, but
3
they
or-
don't get to pick their partners.
Oh, you don't? Ooh, well, that's okay. I think it was really helpful for me to just practice with my practicum partner because, obviously it's good to practice on everyone, but you kind of got a feel for, okay, this is how they're going to do like a grade 3, or, this will be my 1, a little switch. And it made me a little bit less nervous during the practicums that way because you were comfortable with that person. But, yeah.
I have a general question about the NABI course.
Yep.
So it seems like, I don't know if this is just now or if this is how she always is, but it seems a little unorganized in terms of the structure.
Yeah.
And in undergrad in anatomy, we did like all muscles and then all nerves and then all bones. So in this class, is it just like one section of the body, know everything? And when you do the legs, know everything? Or what's the structure?
So
of this?
your structure list, does anybody have that?
We do have, yeah.
What
She
the-
doesn't give us like a syllabus or anything.
Yeah.
yet,
So
we
your
are-
structure list is literally your Bible. So if I can
Can't
visually
see it. Yeah, Jackie, you're right in terms of.
I just want to know where we're going with this.
I think that's a big difference
The thing
between
is,
like
we haven't
undergrad
typically
anatomy
done
for
it
going
that
like
Yeah.
starting all
all
the muscles
back
in the
and
body.
chest.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
don't
like,
see back
okay,
and
we're gonna
chest all
focus on
there.
the thorax, we're gonna focus on all the muscles,
All
all the
bones,
nerves,
all the, okay.
all the arteries.
Yeah, so
Okay.
thorax. I think you're just paying
Is this the app you're talking about?
Essentially, anatomy 5.
So like the
Really?
thorax, she gives you the list. So like these are the bones you have to know. And if you go
like the general one.
to bones,
Oh, okay.
if you go
See what we need?
We were looking at this like,
oh bones. So go to here. So you have to know the location and normal position of the body, name the parts and the prominences of the bone, major muscle attachments and major ligaments. So if you go here, the bones, so a typical vertebrae, and then a typical rib, you have to be able to identify the head, neck, tubercle. Yes. And so she gives you what you need to know for each one.
Okay, and you just make your charts based off of this?
Yes. And she does, like, when she does lecture, she does, like, touch on it. It's just not typed out for you.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if she's doing, like, pre-recorded, like, PowerPoint lectures and then comes to lecture you, but, like, last semester, she, like, I'm saying like a lot. She, posted a PowerPoint that she recorded over, like, just voice record, and then she would lecture to us. And some of us would listen to the pre-record and then listen to her lecture, or listen to her lecture and then listen to the
Same
pre-recorded.
thing.
Yep, it's basically the same thing. You're just hearing it twice. So the more you hear it, the more you know it. And sometimes she gives more information in the pre-recorded because, I mean, sometimes it's having people stare at you. You get nervous, or I'm not saying she gets nervous, but like you forget to say things or things get a little off track. So if you listen to the pre-recorded one, she might be like, oh, this is just what I want you to know.
Yeah.
So that's always helpful. I just don't know if she's doing that. Because do you guys even have access to the course? Yeah. Okay.
Is that under materials? or-
Yeah. It's the one that's like 70 minutes.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, because there are two that were the
Yeah.
same. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Just seems like there's not a lot of structure for a
Yeah.
class that has a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of self-directed learning, and it's just one of those things you have to take it and run. Yeah.
Okay.
Choose your battles.
As long as I know that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm
Talk
like,
to
what
her.
is this gonna like?
Yeah. Yeah. Talk to her in person to get clarification. She's really cool and really chill to talk to.
Yeah.
If you guys as a class feel like you can't make it there during the week, ask her if she can have open lab hours on the weekend.
Yeah, that'd be
Sometimes she's like, yeah, if you guys want open lab hours, I'm available this time to this time, so you guys can come during that time. But on the weekend, know the office number because the door is locked and our cards don't let us in the building, so she has to come down and let us
all
in.
the way downstairs and let every single person. The UAA cards don't work?
No, not to get into the building. It works to get into the lab, but we don't have access to that building.
Like
Oh.
it does for other people.
Well, it probably doesn't for us anymore. And another thing about the anatomy course, around midterms time, I know there's a handful of us OT2s that would love a refresher. So if you guys want to take us in there and point out all the cool things in the body that you guys have found, that would also be awesome. So, do you guys have any other questions about your other classes? Nope. Any questions about upcoming semesters? You guys just in spring semester right now.
I usually do have a question about mental health.
Yes.
We have our first exam on Monday.
Mhm.
Is it like 'cause there's a lot of information
Mhm.
that's been given to us and a lot of like discussion and really good stuff, and I feel like for the most part we're all absorbing and digesting it. But I'm just curious, like the format of our exams, because there hasn't really been any.
Did she give you guys study guides?
No.
No. Okay, I can't remember if she gave us study guides.
Sentences on the exam module that says like it'll cover these.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, well, those are-
So I think for mental health, I found flashcards on Quizlet that somebody else made, and I studied those. But it's basically a lot of just like rote memorization type of thing. Yeah.
Do you remember if you did a lot of like example questions, or was it like definition questions, or was it?
I think it was a mixture of both, because they're really going to try to start developing your clinical reasoning this semester, since you guys are getting a lot of like information now. So they want you to develop that. So that's that. She has like 4 exams in her class, right? 3, 4. Yeah. So that's a good thing. So you guys could like take this first exam, be like, oh, okay, so this is her testing style, and then you still have opportunity to like do well in the class. Review your tests. That's always helpful. If you have questions, you could set up a meeting with her and review the test over the phone, and she can kind of like guide you that way. I never did that. I wish I did, but here I am. And
She's very open,
yeah.
like to communication. She's really easy to work with.
Any
I
other?
just have one quick
Oh,
thing.
yes.
Like everyone is a different learner. I'm a really visual learner, and so I drew a lot and laminated a lot. And so this is like an example of like the arterial branches of the heart. And so I just would like draw a pathway, and then I'd go in and like quiz myself, like, okay, what am I looking at here? So just making it into your own, I think, is really helpful. And then once I knew that, I'd be like, hey, can I teach you about everything about the heart? And then stop me when you think I'm like wrong, pretty much. You know, like I'm going to show you the pathway of the blood. You know, do you know it differently? You know, like, so for me that was really helpful, like teaching others, explaining it to others.
On that note, also, I loved to make weird
You sayings.
sayings or acronyms. Some you can't repeat in front of other people, but it really helped me. The weirder they were, the more I seem to remember it. So if you guys are like that,
Can we have an example? I'm just kidding.
No.
well, for example, this one came from Jamie for the
Cranial nerves?
2, 3, 4 keeps the
Poop off the floor.
yeah, something like that, but you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives you like the inhibition to not go to the bathroom in public. Or
Yeah.
like the adductor compartment of the thigh, just remember it's the lazy muscle. That's a fine one. 'Cause, you know, keeps your legs crossed. Keeps looking like a baby.
But yeah, if at any time you guys are like stressed or like need guidance, honestly, you can reach out to me. I'm sure you can reach out to Eva, and we can kind of like help guide you. And I will tell you that our first, like our midterm, like our class as a whole, we didn't do so well on like the pin part. They let us retake it. You had the option to retake the pin quiz.
For full credit? Or
Yes, she took the higher score. Take that opportunity so you're not stressing at the end of the semester.
Wait, you take it right away after or at the
You
end
take
of the
like
semester?
a week after.
Oh.
Yeah.
She probably doesn't tell you that, huh?
No.
Quizzes or the exams? That's my question. What is the difference between these two?
The
Do you
quiz,
have a
okay,
quiz in class?
so you have pin quizzes, right?
Yep, 3 of them.
So
Three
they're like
of-
a small exam?
Yep, they're like small pin quizzes where she like goes in and puts pins on the body and she's like,
Are those
okay,
individual?
yes.
Individual groups?
Yes,
Okay.
those are individuals. You have group quizzes that you do at the beginning of every week. Those are the ones that Eva, Bobby, and I, we would like make up questions on our own and like trade them, like once we knew the way she quizzed.
Yeah.
And those are really helpful. It's always funny because we would always focus on one part and then she would totally like test on a different part. It's okay to get zeros on those. I got like 2. Don't panic. So, those are just fun.
So,
Okay, sorry.
no,
Pin
sorry.
quizzes.
Yeah, you said that you had the opportunity to retake it.
The midterm.
Okay, so that's the one that's half pin, half.
Yes.
But I think that was just for our.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm clarifying because I didn't understand what's a quiz and
Yeah.
what's an exam.
That's why I wish we had a syllabus so we knew when
Yeah.
what was happening.
Yeah.
Do you ever get a syllabus?
Yes.
Okay.
But Jamie was also co-teaching
I
with
just need to
someone
see
else.
it.
Yeah. Syllabuses help. I'm sure she's working on it diligently.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Does that answer everybody's question? But yeah, the midterm. We got to retake the midterm. Just the pin quiz portion. The written portion, that you got what you got.
Did she give you guys office hours?
Monday
Pretty much
through
in there
Monday through
Monday
Friday,
through
8 to 5.
She's just there for open wall.
Yeah. And you can like shoot her an email and be like, hey, I plan on coming in at this time. Are you going to be in there? And she's totally willing and flexible to be in there and meet. But like you have to go in there with questions. She's not going to just teach you. She wants you to bring her questions to know that you're actually like trying to learn the information. And I was not a dissector by any means. So if you're not a dissector, don't feel bad.
Do you feel like not being a dissector, because I'm not, you still did okay?
Yeah. I did not like the cutting, the gushy, stuff. I preferred, like, okay, you guys cleared it out. I would help, because, you know, you got to support your peeps. Got to support your team. But sometimes I'm like, man, I'm going to throw up in this body. So, no. I was okay. Yeah. I would do that to him, like, good job, good job. Like, when they pulled Brooke pulled the brain out, I'm like, good job, good job. Yeah, no, I was okay. Like, I went in there and be like, okay, that's that artery. I liked going in after everything was, like, done.
Okay.
And you
said
guys,
that way.
yeah, go nice and slow. Don't destroy any, like, structures. Because if you destroy the structures in one of the bodies, she's going to pull a body that you're not familiar with, and she's going to pin that. So you have to keep your structures intact so you're able to study those.
I was a dissector and I loved it.
Yeah.
I
With
feel
the-
like I learned a lot more just from you. But on the same time, I love dissecting too. But and I were not in the same Eva's Angels
Eleanor's
and
Angels.
then the Velociraptors. and everything.
Yeah.
A lot. It seemed like several of the same people in my team, including myself, were doing most of that dissecting. And sometimes I got really just, hey, we're just scraping fat for 2 hours straight just to get to, you know. So if you need a break, don't be afraid to say, hey, somebody else, I need you to switch.
And even if, like, one team has
Just take a
more
break.
dissectors, you guys can, like, move to other bodies. You don't have to stay with that body. So you could, like, go help the other team if you want to check out the dude, or if you want to go check out the woman, you could go to that one. You're not, because you have to know both bodies
Yeah.
and what different structures are, because I bet you the aorta is not going to be in the same place in the one body as it's going to be in the other body. It's going to look different. It's going to feel different depending on the age, especially since you guys have a young one. So, Yep. Oh my gosh. We did like extra credit opportunities and we like toured the body to high school students and I'm like, yeah, that's the bladder. No, you guys, it was the uterus. A high school student asked me, so can you tell like how many babies like the person had? And Brooke was, Brooke, and she was like, yeah, you just count the rings.
The rings.
Like on a tree. She was totally kidding.
So, will we be given tours to high school students?
I think that's once you guys get your syllabus, you guys will know.
Is that an extra credit opportunity?
There are.
It's such a good opportunity. Like, if you can teach it to someone that's going to know it.
Yeah. And it's like right before like your exam or it's like right near spring break.
He was so smart. He was asking like all these, I'm like, whoa, okay, let me think about this. Like, I'm not sure. He's really advanced.
Yeah, and it helps Jamie out a lot too because like she has like hundreds of high schoolers come from all different schools like across a couple weeks, and you guys can sign up for which ones you want, and it's really great. And usually those weeks that they're having the tours, there's no like open lab hours, so that's how you can like get in and study. So just become friends with Jamie is my advice. Yeah, she's really awesome.
And this is also another side note, because this happens several times throughout the semester. If you catch something that is wrong, if you're positive that it's wrong and then you check and it is, like on a team-based quiz or just some question, a pin exam or something, because that happens sometimes, or the number falls off and it gets mixed up, then don't be afraid to speak up. Because there were several times where, pins got misplaced or something like that, and then, make the question wrong. Yeah, so don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
Verify.
Ask questions.
Professor Elza was talking about that this semester. She might use more like wires and pipe cleaners to put stuff so that there's less of that problem.
Yeah. So that, especially when the whole class is in there and you're trying to,
Yeah.
okay, then we
Oh, yeah. About the pin quizzes, like, they're really cool, but they suck having 12 people trying to share, like, the bodies. Because, like, let's say you get in there and you're like, okay, I know this, but then there's people who are, like, sitting there, standing in front of the body, blocking it, staring at it, and you're like, okay, I have, like, 3 questions left, and you're just standing there. Just be patient. It's hard, because I'm like, I have a 30-minute attention span with any kind of test, so I'm like, come on, I need to get this out of my brain before it, like, just disappears, So
as far as, like, structures with your quizzes go, will she have the questions separated by body? Like, body 1, look for this,
Yep.
this body.
So she'll give you, like, a blank paper with, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the questions will actually be written on the board with the pins and the body.
And the pins will be labeled. Like
Yep.
1, 2, 3, ABC. Okay.
It's pretty straightforward once you know what she wants.
And that one's purely identifying structures, and then the written portion is.
It's both.
Oh, it's both. Okay.
Yeah. So, like, she could pin a muscle, and she could be like, name how many layers, like, this pin went through the skin. Name all the layers of the skin down to the muscle. So you have to name all the layers of the skin. And then you have to make sure you remember the fascia. It's a lot. Yeah.
What common diagnosis is prevalent when this nerve is no longer working?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So pathologies too.
Yep.
So just without everything.
Yeah.
But
Anything
it's
on that
so-
structure list is fair game for
Such a
either.
great class.
It is. It's
Like,
such a great class.
So it's okay to not deviate from this, like just.
No. And, like, her PowerPoints, they do help. Like, I blew up pictures. I don't know. They're probably in my whatever. I blew
Yeah,
up
she has to do
pictures.
Do
Yeah.
you think that everything she has highlighted on her PowerPoints is everything that's on here? Because she does have a lot of stuff like highlighted too.
Probably. I would cross-reference. I use the structure list more than the PowerPoints.
This one here.
Yeah. So, like, if you guys did the thorax, I'd be like, okay, today I'm going to make my charts or whatever for the thorax. And I would go through the nerves, the arteries, the veins. It took a lot of time. Like, a lot. I'm not even going to lie. A lot. I spent a lot of time on anatomy. And I did pretty okay. You guys will survive. Because you guys, I don't know if you know. Well, okay, you guys don't know. It's on UAA's grading scale, which is a 10-point grading scale.
I asked her and she said it's Creighton's.
Really?
I asked her because I said, is it going to be the regular 90 to 100?
Yeah.
And she said it's up to Creighton and we're doing whatever grading scale they're doing.
What?
I asked her the first day of class.
Interesting.
Unless she's wrong, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess you guys will find out when you
Because
get
I
your
was
syllabus.
excited. I was like, maybe a 90s a day and an 80s
Yeah.
a B, but
Well, okay, I lied. I guess I won't make any assumptions.
well, I'm hoping she's wrong and she made my question confusing.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna be great.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be fine.
Thank you.
It's
Oh.
seriously so much fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Like yeah, I don't know. I was like really into anatomy, and it's like such a like beautiful experience.
Yeah, and you
It's
guys.
super cheesy, but it's like so cool that
Yeah.
these people are donating their bodies for our learning to become more competent students and practitioners. Like it's so cool.
Hmm. And you use a lot of the information you learn in anatomy in the summer, and you use it a lot. Did we use it a lot in the fall? It's debatable. But I feel like this semester we're probably going to use a lot of it. So your other two tutors, before I forget, are Alex. This is her number and her email address that's written up here on the board. She was a very visual learner. I feel like she was the one that me and her, we did not touch the body the first day because it was scary. And we just kind of stood back. But she like drew all the charts. She drew pictures. She really good at anatomy. She taught her dad anatomy over the phone. So if you are like a talker and a drawer, she's also a good option for tutoring. Tony is also a tutor, and she is like a really hands-on person. So she's like in there like naming things off the top of her head and like identifying that way. So she would also be good if that's your kind of learner. And then we have Brooke, and she told you about her learning style. Brooke's funny sayings, you'll remember it. Yeah. Just hire Brooke, and you can contact her there. Okay, so words of encouragement for the OT3s. I don't think you guys really need that much because you guys are all on your decks and we're so proud of you. But I did find this really cute saying. So it says, "You've worked so hard and come so far. Now look what's ahead, a finish line with your name on it. Only the final stretch awaits you. So strap in, put on your strongest obstacle repellent, and stay the course. You can do it because they're so close to graduation." And before you guys know it, we'll all be there too. So it's for us too. So the password for the survey is success. And, this is a really funny meme because we always talk about the Just Right Challenge. So if you guys don't have any other questions, please feel free to eat more pizza. I reserved this room until 2:30, so feel free to stay until then. Otherwise, you guys are free to go.